I'm co-designer Pat Sloan here for Therm-o-web. I'm going to tell you a little bit about their line of products called HeatnBond. HeatnBond is used for fusible applique, raw edge applique. Fusible is a word that's commonly used, but it's actually a edge-to-edge adhesive, and the difference there is that when you warm it up and it adheres the fabrics together, it doesn't ever leave pockets or bubbles or things like that. There are three different products that I'm going to tell you about. One is HeatnBond Lite, the Feather Lite, and then their Ultra. The regular line is called Lite, and that's the one that I use all the time. All the products come in 17-inch width, and then you can buy it in different kinds of packages. So let's take a look at what they have. They have these small 1 1/4 yard packages, and then the 5 1/4 yard packages. It also comes on a 35 yard bolt and a 75 yard box, which is what I have. So I want to tell you a little bit about how to do a little sample for yourself so you can see how the HeatnBond Lite product works. It can be done as a full fusible, or it can be done sort of as a cutaway. So I'm going to show you both of those. I'm going to use this quilt behind me, which I have a pattern for, so that we can do the hearts and take a look at the whole process. Now when you're doing a sample, one of the nice things to do is sort of stitch it all up afterwards, and then you can have this as a reference. So it can be something you can hang and show. You can make notes on it like I did here. So this would be sort of the ultimate goal of a sample. Now I have two ways that most people would use the HeatnBond Lite. One would be the full fusible, and that's this one here, where you can see I have all the fusible covering the entire surface of the heart shape. And then this is a cutaway, a donut method, a windowing, and here the shape will be much softer, and because I use a lot of big shapes, that's really great for my type of applique. But the inside rim here is what will be adhering the heart to your background. So I'll show you how to do this. It's really easy. I have a piece of HeatnBond Lite, and it's paper on one side and then the adhesive on the other side. I'm going to take my pattern here and trace it. Now you can trace with anything, and you'll be tracing on the paper side, so it doesn't matter what kind of tracing tool you use. And you can easily see the heart through the paper like this. And I recommend you pull it down just a little bit from these two edges. These are the edges that would be going through manufacturing, might not have quite as much adhesive on them. So then you just trace just like this with your pen, your pencil, whatever kind of tool you want. If you have a little thing, you can just sort of slim it out there because you're drawing. Now I do keep some product around the outside, so it's not entirely close, particularly for large shapes. You want something to hold on to, something to adhere to the background. So at this point, I would be working to have something that looked like this if I was going to just fuse this to my background. But I'm going to go ahead and cut out the inside so I can show you one that looks like this. When you do that, cut on a side right through the line, and then just start cutting around like this so that you create this nice little rim. And the rim will be, maybe a 1/4 inch, maybe less than a 1/4 inch. So we're going to go all the way around here really quickly. It's a big heart, and this larger bit of outside will give me something to hold on to when I'm going to go to the iron. Move these samples over here. Now this part that I've just removed can be used for other things. I could draw berries and leaves, keep it for an entirely different project. So your actual HeatnBond Lite extends and goes further when you cut out the inside. So I have a piece of fabric, and I've got a nice hot iron, and I will be laying out the heart. Here, I'll just put it like this. So I'll be laying out the heart however you want. Because it has the window you could, put it over a motif. You're on the back side of the fabric. Here's the right side. You're on the back side of the fabric. If you had a pretty motif, you could, be placing it over top of that. Now, on my shapes, I like to iron from the back, the opposite side of the cut. So I've got a nice hot iron here. I'm going to go around. And this is the part where it actually will melt the adhesive onto the fabric. And you don't hold that very long. It's a really quick process. At this point, you're ready to cut on the line. This is raw edge, which means there's no turned under parts of it. So once again, I would do a little bit of cutting. I use some really nice scissors. That's one of the things I think when you're doing a lot of this, you want to have a really good scissor, a lightweight scissor. So here I am cutting. You can see that. Whoops. And then I have one already cut out. The magic of video. So there we go. It's already cut out right on the edge. So you can see the difference here. Now I will remove the paper because you need to adhere this to the background. So in order to get the paper off, if you're having any kind of trouble, just press the paper, just like fold it, and then it'll easily be removed. And the next part is to have a pretty background to put it on. So here we go. I have a nice background. These are my fabric lines, in case you're wondering. So there we go. I placed this down. In my project behind me, I have, the hearts have wings, so you can put the wings underneath. But for this little sample, we're just going to do this. And now I'm going to press, press, press. You're not pressing very much or for very long. And that's it. We now have a piece that is ready to be stitched. You would use whatever type. You could do straight stitch, you could do blanket stitch, a decorative stitch, but at this point it is on the fabric and they're adhered to each other. And I told you there were two other HeatnBond products. One is called Feather Lite. Let me show you that. Here's a piece of Feather Lite. And Feather Lite is the newest member of the family. It has a much thinner adhesive on it. So it's nice if you wanted to do this, the full fusible, because it is thinner so that this part wouldn't feel as firm as it does with the HeatnBond Lite. Plus, it really gets nice when you wash it. So if you've stitched your applique down and then you put it in the wash, it will soften up. The HeatnBond Feather Lite comes in the 35-yard bolt and the 75-yard box. Then the third product in this adhesive family is Ultra Hold. Now Ultra Hold is a crafting bond. It is a no-sew. So the red on the packaging means stop. Don't sew. It tells you right on there not to sew. It is made for adhering like fabric to boxes or doing maybe a craft project where you don't really ever need to wash it or worry about it. This is a very, very firm bond. It's a thicker level of adhesive on the background. So this is a little demo on the Therm-o-web HeatnBond products. HeatnBond Lite, which is my go-to. Then there's Feather Lite, which is a much thinner layer. And then the Ultra, which is used for crafting. So once again, I'm Pat Sloan for Therm-o-web.